Hi, everybody, welcome back to Piping Hot Tea. So, today we're going to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk that just released this Friday. And let me tell you, social media has gone and exploded all over this story. It has been chaos from all sides. So, we hear from Chloe, we hear from Jordyn, we hear from the fans or the people following and everybody watching this unfold. So let's get started with the tea. All right. So first, let's talk about Jordyn Woods and Smith families' history and how they all are connected. So the 21-year-old model has been a longtime fan of the Smith family. Actually, Jaden Smith was the first person to introduce Jordyn to Kylie Jenner back in middle school. So we're talking years and years back. Now, how did they meet? Well, actually, Jordyn's father was the sound engineer in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that's how Will Smith and John met. So through work. Now, unfortunately, he did pass away back in January of 2017. But even since the Smith family has basically been there for Jordyn Woods. So Jaden and Jordyn basically grew up together, and that is why they refer to each other as family. So, sometimes Jordyn will call Will her uncle, and Will call her the niece or whatever. So, at this point, since the family has known each other for so long, they refer to each other as family. They are no longer just friends, right? With that type of history, that's understandable. And on top of that, the Kardashians and the Will Smith family do also go back a long time as well. So, as you can imagine, this shit just got a little messy because we have Jordyn Woods in one side, we have the Smiths on the backing her up in her corner, and then you have Khloe Kardashian and the Kardashian and Jenner family on the other side. So, right smack in the middle, we have Jada trying to kind of pull each side to meet in the middle. So, anyways, let's see if she did that with this Red Talk interview on that released on Facebook. Make sure that you go check out the video. It's only 30 minutes, and trust me, it's a good 30 minutes. You get to hear what happened. Okay, now I'll give you a little recap. All right, so try to hold on to your seat and your edges. All right, so Jordyn begins her side of the story telling Jada that it all started at a bar where the party was going on. She was minding her business. She was with her girls, dancing, drinking, just having a great time. And Tristan happened to be there, but he was also doing his own thing on the side. They were not interacting. So it wasn't like they met over there. They were hanging out, not at all. She was on the one side with her friends, and Tristan was on the other side with his people. Now, normally in LA, apparently, when you're young, single, hot, and just having fun, so part of the culture is for there to be an after party. So if the club shuts down early or, they're not ready to go home and call it a night, it's typical for the party to move to somebody else's houses. So they're not thinking whose house or where it is. That's what she expressed. That she had no idea whose house it was. She was just down for it to have a good time, and turns out that it was going to be Tristan's house. She didn't think anything of it. She actually felt relief because instead of going to a random stranger house, they were going to Tristan's house, somebody that she knew and was comfortable with. So they ended up going to Tristan's house. She had no idea that the phones were taken away. She stated she didn't see anything about that. She's not actually she was not aware of that. She had her cell phone at all times. So and we know Hollywood Unlocked Jason mentioned that his writer was there and he saw Jordyn and Tristan get cozied up and the phones were taken away and they were doing whatever. So Jordyn Woods does take the time to clarify some things, and a lot of the things that were spread around, she says that they were false. So, anyways, getting back to the story. So there she is, having again drinking, having a good time, just chilling, and people were saying that they were cozied up together. Now, she stated that she didn't interact like that with Tristan. She was not getting cozied up with him. She was not hugging him, touching him, or anything like that. What could have been taken as being cozied up was the fact that she was sitting on the arm of a chair next to Tristan and her legs were laying right over his, but her butt was never sitting on him. Just that her legs were dangling down, so she picked them up and put them or placed them over the bottom of his legs. So that could be considered, some people may have taken that for them getting cozied up. And she did say that, yeah, just like everybody else, they were whispering to each other or talking to each other, but that was because everybody else was doing it and loud music, as you can imagine. But that may have been taken as them flirting or being touchy. So who knows if that's what that writer or people were seeing. But she did clarify that she was drunk, but she didn't black out. She was conscious of what was going on. She knew what was going on at all times. She never blacked out. So there was alcohol involved, but she was all up there. Okay. Now, so getting into the hot tea, right? What exactly happened between them two? Well, Jordyn says, in reply to Jada actually asking point blank period, did you sleep with Tristan? Jordyn stated never, okay? Never a thought, never a consideration, never happened, and never will I. And that's why I'm willing to be put up to the test, attach me to a lie detector, whatever it is. I need people to know the truth. And more importantly, I need the people involved to know the truth. And just to clarify, there has been no communication with Tristan, no relationship over time. So she does take the time to be very specific in clarifying that she and Tristan never had an ongoing relationship prior to this, or any type of relationship at all. There was no communication between them, no meetups, no discussions, no talk, no conversations, nothing. Okay. And she does say she didn't want to be involved in that situation. She was aware of the situation between Tristan and Chloe, and she didn't want to be involved. So the last bit that she clarified, that Jordyn clarifies for everybody, is that despite the reports, Tristan never made any moves on her throughout the night at the party, but things got tricky the next morning. And this is where she gets teary-eyed up a little bit, because she went on to say that she couldn't point fingers because she allowed herself to be in that position. She allowed herself to be there at Tristan's house. And then she goes on to say that on the way out of Tristan's house the next morning at 7 a.m., after just being with everybody, basically chilling and just having fun, by the time she looks up, realizes it's 7 in the morning. She did say as she's walking out, he kissed her. Now, when he kissed her, there was no make-out session. There was no tongue involved. There was no passion. It was nothing. He just kissed her on the lips. Now, because she was in shock, she didn't say anything to him. Only thing that she basically was said, I gotta go. And she immediately left. There was no relationship with Tristan. Prior to this, there were never any other occasion. Tristan happened to be the one to initiate the kiss, But Jordyn does take full responsibility for making a mistake, making a few mistakes actually, and she talks about it. As soon as she realized that the house was Tristan's, she should not ever taken a foot there. She should have went home, and then she further takes for full responsibility for allowing herself to be in the position of being next to him, and for things to be taken the wrong way. So she does take responsibility in the interview. If you watch it, she did mention that she tried to reach out to Chloe and apologize via text, via phone calls. She does want to apologize face to face, but hasn't had the opportunity to do so. And ever since the story broke out, she has tried to be respectful and mindful of everything that's going on, because at the end of the day, this was a family that she has known for about 10 years plus. So she didn't want to hurt anybody. Now, another mistake that she made and she talks about was the fact that the next morning she spoke to Kylie and Chloe and she didn't mention the kiss. Her reasoning was because she knew the situation with Tristan and Chloe. She didn't want to add more fuel to the fire. So basically, she thought that she was protecting Chloe by not telling her that Tristan had kissed her. So, in a way, she tried to do her best to not be involved in any mess. She didn't try or wanted to start any drama. So she kept that to herself and basically was like, no, everything was cool. He was fine. He didn't talk to any girls. But we now know what really happened. And at the time, she was scared of what the consequences were going to be, or how Chloe was going to be affected by this, knowing Tristan and Chloe were already having a rough relationship. Now, Jordyn does state in that interview that she does not feel like she was the cause of Chloe and Tristan's marriage or family to break apart. She was very, very adamant that she was not the cause. So Jordyn must know something that we don't know. Now, of course, by this time, you should know or be aware that this is not the first time Tristan pulls something similar, right? Few months ago, or was it last year, Tristan was caught with other females and messing around on Chloe when she was pregnant, actually. So this is not the first rodeo for Chloe, who's 34, and Tristan Thompson, who is 27 years old. Now here he is trying to mess with a 21-year-old. And again, to clarify, according to Jordyn, it was only a kiss and not even a makeout session. It was just like a peck on the lips. So you do what you will with that information. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this whole mess. But you know what is interesting? It's very interesting how Chloe has been really speaking out about the situation. She took to Twitter to basically call out Jordyn and say that she was a liar and she has not apologized to her. Now, what I find very interesting about this is that, again, Khloe Kardashian is a 34-year-old woman, whereas Jordyn Woods is only 21 years old. Now, yes, they're both adults, but who has the more experience? Khloe Kardashian. She should know a little bit better, or be able to handle the situation just a little bit better. She took to social media to basically call out Jordyn Woods, probably because she felt, again, stabbed. Since the family is so close with Jordyn Woods, and on top of that, Jordyn Woods takes to the Red Table Talk to speak about the situation. Chloe seems to feel a certain type of way about that. Maybe she wanted her to be the one to talk to Jordyn. Which, if she really wanted to talk to Jordyn Woods, I'm assuming that she has a way to contact her and that they could really have had this conversation, unless Jordyn Woods, for some reason, declined or didn't want to speak to her, okay? Just to make sure that I will cover the story fully, completely, I do want to put it out there that when Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian met, Tristan Thompson was with somebody else, and that somebody else was pregnant. So I believe it was his first baby mama. Not sure how many baby mamas he has, but he was in a whole relationship when they met. So that's what the talk is, and how Khloe Kardashian shouldn't really be surprised at this point what Tristan pulls, because again, this is not the first time he has done something. And moreover, they didn't even have sex allegedly. Who knows what really went down, right? Because anything could have happened. But people were there, but nobody else is talking. So unless they want to step up to the plate, let's keep it in the playground. Let's just keep it hush hush. Unless you're gonna put everything out there, and if it was there, hopefully people are stepping up. Unfortunately for Jordyn Woods, nobody's really sticking out for her that was at that party. So it's a party and there was a lot of people. So what's happening? Nobody is willing to take the risk and speak out either on behalf of Jordyn Woods or against her. We know that Hollywood Unlocks, Jason's writer was there and supposedly saw that they were getting cozied up, and that phones were taken away and things happened. But again, is that really what happened, or is that something that maybe this writer, this person saw and misinterpreted the situation? So let me know in the comments below, who do you think is speaking the truth, and does Jordyn Woods deserve all the backslash that she's receiving? So according to her, her family has been threatened. Her 12-year-old sister can't even go to school, and her mother can't even go to the store without being harassed. Basically, her whole family is being harassed, and she's being called all type of names because people feel like she's a homewrecker. I think all in all, this is just a really, really bad situation that has been blown out of proportion because of social media. So everybody was basically blaming her, which I found very interesting, because if you look at the situation, even before we knew that Tristan was the one that initiated that kiss, Tristan Thompson has cheated and messed around on Khloe Kardashian before. So are we surprised? Not myself. And on top of that, Tristan Thompson knows better. So why isn't the blame equally placed on him? Now that we have the details, now that we know that he was the one that initiated the kiss, allegedly, according to Jordyn Woods, then you would think that he would have been a man enough to speak out against, what's happening to Jordyn Woods, letting her take the fall and letting her name being dragged to the mud. He should have addressed it publicly, or at least said something basically to back her up. Just left her to fend for herself, and that's where the Smith family came up and stepped up and said, you know what? You don't have anybody else in your corner. Jordyn Woods, we got you, your family, so we got your back. And if you look at the video, the Red Table Talk video, Will Smith does FaceTime the ladies and basically says, you know what, the world is attacking you, Jordyn, but we have your back. You have a family in your corner. So the fact that they're backing up Jordyn Woods does make her story even more believable. Is she telling the truth? Who knows? Well, it looks like social media at this point is taking a turn and having Jordyn Woods back, especially the Black community. Let's see how this turns out. As soon as we hear any new information, hopefully Tristan grows a pair and talks about it or says something. You know what would be actually ideal? If Jordyn Woods, Khloe Kardashian, and Tristan all meet all together. How about they all go to the Red Table Talk with Jada Smith? I think that would be a fantastic idea, because this all he said, she said situation doesn't freaking work. We know this. It's like playing telephone. By the time you get the information gets to the other person, is completely different. So how about we all sit down in one room, film it for us, maybe first episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Anyways, with that being said, I know this was a long video, but I got to keep you entertained and keep you informed, okay? So with that being said, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like the video, share, and I talk to you in the next one. Bye.